station chief, Dan Hoffman. He's also a Fox News contributor. And I'm curious what you think about that leak from last night that came out from the administration suggesting that Iran really had no idea that this was going on. And it was almost as if they were trying to give Iran cover, that they didn't know that they allow, as I said on Martha's show, they let the kids have a kegger and then pretended to know nothing about it.
Yeah, well, that's a distinction without a difference, because none of those proxy terrorist groups would exist without Iran's support. Iran provides them with military equipment, with all the missiles that they need, with intelligence support, with financial support. And so Iran might not have told them when to strike, but Iran was certainly providing them with all of that support because those groups intended to strike us. And let's just be clear, we are at war with Iran. It's a proxy war right now, but there is a war going on. And it's happening because the Houthis, Lebanese Hezbollah, is targeting Israel. And remember that this all started 40 years ago when Hezbollah, the predecessor terrorist group to Hezbollah, launched an attack on the Marine barracks and then our embassy in Beirut. That's the way Iran operates. That's the way they conduct war.
All right. Anybody got a question for Dan Hoffman?
Dan, I'll follow up on what we talked about earlier. We talked about all these guys scattered around all these bases in Syria and Iraq that are the target of these attacks. What are they accomplishing, having a presence in Syria and Iraq?
Well, look, we've got a couple of interests, important national security interests in the Middle East. One is freedom of navigation. There's a lot of trade that happens through the Red Sea. And then in Syria and Iraq, very small numbers of U.S. troops, 2,500 in Iraq, just a few hundred in Syria. They're there to do counterterrorism operations. They're not there to bring democracy to the Middle East. They're not there to build girls' schools, but they are there to protect us here at home because there are terrorists, Al-Qaeda and ISIS terrorists there. And if we don't target them way out there, left of boom, then they're going to target us in the region and potentially here at home. Look, I served in those places. I served in Iraq for a year. I served in South Asia as a station chief for 2 years. We were always perfectly fine serving in harm's way as long as we had the right equipment to keep us as safe as possible, as well as the right policy. And that's what has been lacking over the past, certainly, few months, where 160 plus strikes against our people, and we've lost escalation dominance to Iran.
You know, Dan, Janine Pirro here, the whole idea of our policy, you know, of allowing how many, I think it's like 80 or 100 who were injured, some with traumatic brain injuries in Iraq and Syria before this last attack where 3 were killed and 40 injured. How much influence has the commercial interference of shipping had on the American policy? I mean, because it's almost like you see the commercial, Maersk apparently is not going through the Red Sea now. They're going around the Cape of Africa. I mean, do you see policy changing when it comes to commercial vessels and countries getting a little more aggressive then as opposed to when Americans are injured? Because I'm not convinced this administration is so concerned about Americans when we allowed 160 attacks on our servicemen in Syria and Iraq.
Well, I'm sure the administration, and I'm sure that that those who are serving in the administration are very concerned about U.S. servicemen and women and others who are serving in harm's way. I think they're also concerned, overriding concern for them is not to escalate and result in a war with Iran. And I think that they've overplayed that by a lot. For sure, there's interest in freedom of navigation. You're absolutely 100% right about that. The world economy will suffer greatly because of these Houthi terrorists. And one more thing that I would add is that if you don't strike back early, then the price of deterrence just goes up. And so the price of deterring the Houthis has gone way up over the past couple of months, as well as dealing with those Iranian proxy terrorists in Syria and in Iraq who are targeting us there. We have to pay a much greater price today.
Dan, the $10 billion waiver that the Biden administration gave to Iran is still in effect tonight.
Yeah, and we know where the money goes, Dana. It's straight to Iran's ballistic missile program. Right. It's their nuclear program, and it's the proxy terrorists. So it's got to be an all-of-government approach here. The DOJ seizing of $500,000 worth of Iranian oil is a good first, albeit small step. But there's got to be a lot more. We've got to cut off Iran's access to funds because we know what they're doing with it. Unfortunately, Russia and China, as well as North Korea and Iran, make up this century's axis of tyranny. That's been one of the results of the war in Gaza and Russia's brutal, barbaric war in Ukraine. And that's just another wickedly complex challenge for this administration.
Dan, thank you. It's also another reason why I brought up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.